Alright, the results of the poll are in. You guys voted for Fiend Pact Warlock. That was the option I put on the list. Alright, so I want to have two sides to. Oh, first of all, welcome back. This is Soul John Soul Ray. I'm going to have two sides to this Let's Play. Side A, I'm going to follow that fighter character I made earlier. And that fighter character is going to go through the free-to-play quests that are available for the game. What I'm going to be making now on side B is a sort of more complicated character to go through the pay-to-play quests that are available in this game. The first set quest I'm going to tackle is going to be Keep on the Borderlands. But first, I need a character, so I'm going to make one. Now, Warlock, found under the spell tree, is not a free class. You're going to have to pay for this one if you want to follow along. But they are a somewhat unique spellcaster. I think paper and pencil, they have a very limited amount of spells, but their primary spell is Eldritch Blast, and that is their basic attack. For this game, it does not require spell points to cast. You simply cast it. Now, attack spells can't be used in town, so you won't be able to test this until you get to a dungeon or explorable area. For some reason, they're telling you to put a lot more points into Wisdom. Charisma is your spellcasting stat for this class. I don't know why Wisdom's higher on this chart. That's weird. And like most classes, you're going to want Constitution as your second most important stat. Then spread it around however you like. Acolyte of the Skin here is also another variant of Warlock. It's like the Fiend Pact Warlock, but more so. For this B-side playthrough, I will be using the normal Fiend Pact Warlock. Because this is a premium class with 32 points, there aren't any paths to choose from. If I recall, the developers said that if they want to do like a path for one of these to make it easier for you to learn, they'd have to hard code it for each level of points you could get on your account. So I'm going to have to customize this one. I actually have a character in mind that I'm wanting to recreate, so I'll go Tiefling, which is also not a free class. You also have to pay for Tiefling if you want to follow along with this. But you can choose any species or race or whatever have you for Warlock. I'm choosing Tiefling because I'm wanting to recreate a character I've made in paper and pencil. This also is a good bonus because this is one of the few races that starts with higher charisma and a resistance to fire. So again, I can max out charisma at 20 points if I really, really wanted to. I'm going to knock that down to 18 so I have more points to spend. So I could do 16 Constitution, 18 Charisma if I wanted to. I might do 14. And then I want to have Wisdom so I can see where my enemies are. Intelligence to have enough points to work with Bump that up, bump that up. I'll do more intelligence. And now I get 16 points to spend. We want to, for the build I'm going with, I want to put all my points into Spellcraft. Because that is going, and Concentration. Spellcraft will allow us to do more damage with our spells. And Concentration will allow us to be less likely to have our spells be interrupted if we get hit. And our main attack is going to be casting a spell. I think for this, I'm going to need some points into Use Magic Device. That's going to be very handy. And then I think a social skill would probably be important here. So I think I'm going to split some points to make him bluff. Now let's go all in on bluff. Okay. And that's my loadout for here. Maybe I should put some points into tumble. So let's do that down and put a full point into tumble. There we go. All right, now our class feature. So, Warlocks can have up to 6 different pacts, it looks like. Carceri's Storm is a new one. I hadn't seen that one before. As is the Abyss. The ones that were available when I started were, when I started with Warlock here, were Fey, Fiend, and Great Old One. Celestial is new if you want to be closer to a healer or a divine caster. Fey does sonic damage, and thematically, your patron is some sort of fairy, greater fairy, something like that. Fiend, demons, devils, the devil if you really wanted, anything like that. Great Old One, Cthulhu. So it does acid damage. The Abyss, that one's new to me. I have no idea. Pit of Darkness, Beyond Comprehension. Oh, I guess your patron is the concept of nothing. Okay, nothingness. I'm gonna guess that's Kingdom Hearts. Negative damage. So you'll be healing undead. It's a bit funny. Carceri Storm, that's also new. It's another type of demon that does cold instead of fire. The character I'm recreating is a classic fiend, so I'm going to take the one that does fire damage. And then for my feet, I think toughness is always a good classic. I think I want to take. I want to minimize that. Not doing a ranged focus. I'm not worried about Metamatic just yet. I'm not worried about Martial just yet. Toughness is always a good option. Force of Personality is a good option here too. So that might be one I go for. Combat casting gives us extra concentration. Spell penetration is also a good option here. I think for level 1, I want to take either toughness or force of personality. So I think I'm going to take force of personality. Right? No. Plus 3 at first level, 1 additional hit point for each additional level. So from my experience, I've been so squishy that toughness almost doesn't matter. So I'm going to take force of personality. And then we get one spell as a warlock for level 1. Which we have pretty much the full list of... Not the full list. We have about half the list of arcane, like, buff spells, crowd control spells, and one summon spell, looks like. None of these are direct attacks, so either going to be a buff, a debuff, some form of crowd control, or some sort of utility, like detect secret doors here. Which I'm tempted to take. I think for now I'm going to take Night Shield. Right? Okay, I might have to cut. Night Shield. Alright. That's about what that looks like. No disabled device because we are not a rogue or artificer. No open lock because we are not a rogue or artificer. And no performance because we're not a bard. I'm going to cut this out and come back when I look as close to that character as I possibly can. I think that's about right. Of course, we can pick neither good nor evil here. Only not lawful, neutral, or chaotic. This character is lawful. Okay, before I do too much more, warlocks have a bit of a different way of working. So, my Eldritch Blast is not an attack by default. Right now, if I try to Eldritch Blast, even though I'm in an area where I can't, I'll instead just punch and kick the air. If I want to activate my Eldritch Blast and start using it, there is this ability here. And in case it accidentally gets budgeted off the hotbar, I think it's a feat that you can take. Yeah. It is a toggle, so I have to do is click it once, turn it on. This little loop-de-loop means it is now working. So now, if I try to attack, it tells me I cannot use Eldritch Blast here, because this is a safe dawn combat zone. There's also a Fiend Pact here, which is the damage modifier. I can click it. It says sacrificing. I go and tie my shoes. And now I have my Fiend Pact active as well. So when I do blasts, I will be doing fire damage in addition. Alright, I'm going to go finish setting up my hotbar here. And then cut back.
You find yourself waking on a shore of flotsam. Memories of a large white dragon striking your ship come flooding back.
Alright, I've already played a character that's run through Korthos Village. And the area...
you're awake! Oi, you ain't undead, are you?
The area I want to show off is also level 1, so rather than run through Korthos and Military Peak again, I'm just going to talk to Jeets here.
Speak to me!
And skip the storyline. You can do this with any character as long as you have had one character go through Korthos Island at least once on the server. At least one character on the server needs to go through Korthos before you can skip the storyline. Should be able to force your way past it later on, but you have to at least go through the Garado first. And skipping it this way, I am given the same quest reward that I got when I first completed the grotto. None of these are good, and none of these will actually be used, because we're going to be using our Eldritch Blast damage instead of anything I pick up. So I'm going to pick up something we can cut our garden with.
Stepping out of the grotto, you find yourself in Korthos village. The Sahuagin have threatened this place for generations. Judging from how it looks now, the Sahuagin are winning. However, some hopeful souls still hold out for help to arrive.
Alright, now from here, the place I want to show off, you can access by talking to Kragan the Gatekeeper. If you were paying attention to the last two videos, or the last video I did on this, or maybe the one before, not the one about targeting, there's something I need to do first, and that means running past everybody here, maybe equipping some armor, and my cloak, and my ring of water breathing. Okay, running past everybody here into Korthos. Not Korthos. The harbor. Stormreach Harbor. I need to talk to some people to get some bags. And also, wouldn't it be funny if I could get this guy first try? Do I have any social skills I can use here? Oh, I'm so close. So close. Okay. That would be funny if I could get him first try. Alright, so first, I need to pick up the bag from Baudry Cardamom. Again, I will not be attending to his quest. I will be simply collecting the small collectible bag and going on my way. Next, I need to collect the gem bag from Fitzpat the Fence here. Finally, I need to talk to Felix de Caneth for a tiny ingredients bag. Now, because I applied a coupon to acquire the bonus items from Keep on the Borderlands, I am also starting with a medium ingredients bag. I think to keep things fair between all of us, I might go stash that in the bank. Alright, if you're following along at home, make sure that you open these up and click Auto Gather to turn these bags on. They will collect the relevant items, collectibles, ingredients, and gems, as long as they have space to do so. While I'm here, I'm also going to hit Control equals to lock my hotbar. There, now I don't accidentally budge things off. Alright, in order to access the quest line, I'm going to be showing off from the harbor, rather than running all the way back to Korthos. We can enter the Gatecreeper's Grove right here at the south end of the harbor. Now, if I'm a kind person, I will put how much all the things I'm using in this video cost. Note to self to do that. Alright, it spits you out here at this cave. I'm going to walk all the way over to meet Kragan at this rock right here. From here, we can travel to the Keep on the Borderlands. This is part of the Codex of Infinite Planes, I guess saga? Questline, storyline, however you call it. I don't know if there is a saga for this series of quests, but they've added it in recent years to the game. I think this is the most recent level 1. They started later levels and worked backwards. I think this quest chain is fairly pricey. There's a lot of quests in it, and a epic level variation of the quest chain as well. So if you're past level 20 into the 30s, I think you can attempt this quest chain again with very different, very stronger quests. For now, I'm just going to enter. He's going to give us a brief description of what's going on. I'm not sure I care too much. It's very similar to what happened in Korthos, but instead of a mind flayer taking over a dragon, it's uh, it's a cult. It's a different cult. Alright, after we teleport into the keep twice, the first thing they greet you with, aside from the extra bloom, is Qual of Vesfi. I don't know how to pronounce him. This is the main thing you're going to want to be getting out of this quest chain. Wondrous mounts. Now, he takes, in exchange for feather tokens, you can get a horse you can ride on. If you take that token and then exchange it with a horseshoe, you can get faster horse. There are four colors to choose from of horse, and a fast version for each one. I might show how to get into grinding this later. But essentially, it's going to mean going out into the explorable area and hunting down rare encounters for a chance at their token. I believe certain chests in the quest will also have a chance at dropping a token. I'm not sure. I think it's mostly just explorable area encounters. So each time you go out to the explorable area, it's worth doing. If you're wanting the horse, it's worth doing a loop of the whole thing just to get horse. And of course, if you bought the bonus items, you might already have horse. So once you get a horse, it'll give you a token that in your inventory. You can double click, and it'll add it to your stable. Once it's in your stable, every character on your account has access to that horse. So you only have to get the horse once on any of your characters on that server. These ones, because they are store rewards, are accessible on every server because they're tied to the account and not the server. If you want like quick access to the horse, just drag it down to your hotbar and you can click it from there. You can press shift or block to dismount your horse. You can even mount your horse while running, which is super handy. These horses are very fast and are a good way to hit the speed cap that this game has. I think there's one emote you can do on them, and that's slash dance. And to actually start the quest, I'm going to come over here and talk to this pile of characters. There are 8 quests to do here. And one person here to just tie you between all of them. Normally, when my brother and I run this, we will pick up every single quest giver here and just do their quests when we get to the dungeon entrance. We save one of them specifically for last, and that is the one to get into the cult's stronghold at the end. While I'm here, I might need to go bind before I talk to any of these. To do that, let's come over here and talk to this altar. We can bind our character here. Touch the shrine, leave the shrine. And if I die, I'll respawn here at the altar instead of Korthos Island. Alright, and before I get too much ahead of myself, I'm going to look at my enhancements. I'm going to pick up Tainted Spellcasting. What I can do with this is, as I damage enemies, I'll gain Depravity, and then I can spend 10 of that to temporarily make my spells just a little bit better. I'm going to put that over here on 1. Whoops. Control equal. Bump. Bump. Alright. Now to start the chain. I'll speak with Norworth here to pick up the chain. And he will direct us to Rolf Acton, who's going to tell us to enter the Kobold Caves and deal with some guys. You know what? I'm just going to do what I usually do. I'm going to pick up all these guys. Bugbear Cave. Knolls. Treasure. Orcs. Cave. Hobgoblins. Cult. Yeah, I think that's all of them. You can tackle these quests in any order. All you need to do is complete all 8 to complete the chain. I think it's all 8. You might only have to do the one for the cult, actually. Not sure. I'll have to look into it. Over here we've got a bartender as well, if you need it. Alright, there are multiple entrances in and out of the keep. The one my brother and I usually take is this one here behind the cows. This drainage pipe. Gross. Alright, out here in the explorable area, I can now finally shoot my Eldritch Blast. Look at it go. It's a little fireball. And if I don't want to do fire damage, I can turn off the pact. And I'll do force damage. But for now, there are still things that are weak to fire, so I'm going to turn this back on. Empowered, it says. Alright, the first possible rare encounter is out here, and it looks like we have him. This little scarecrow here, who is thankfully weak to fire. Here's this chest. What do we get? What do we get? Bracers! Nice! Extra fire resistance. And an ingot. I'll show off what these do later. Ooh, and a death block. Alright, so unlike Korthos Island, Keep on the Borderlands is intended for people who have already played the game before. So the chests out here, rather than having a ring with an ability, have loot. just a loot table. Actual treasure. So I got these nice bracers here. Got a nice little blue slot on them. I can fit a gem inside. There's different gems with different abilities that do different things. Blue ones are mostly defensive. So I could have a nice defensive gem in this slot. And then armor. This outfit gives us death block. That, not incredibly important now, but very important later. So it almost sucks that I'm getting this at level 1. But it also has an armor bonus on it, which our starter robe does not. So now here's the trade-off. If I equip this outfit, I'll have more armor, and I'll have death block. But our starter robe increases our caster level for sorcerer and wizard spells by 1. Which means our command spell here is 1 level higher than it would be. So, do I want more armor, or do I want command? Also, I want to turn around and show you. Outfits look different from robes. Very different. I have pants now. What did that do to our armor class? I went up to 13. 10. I think more armor class is going to be better. So I'll do this for now. So I'll have to say sorry command here. Why do I have command? Oh yeah, feedback. Yeah. I'm probably never going to use command. Oops. Alright, so next place to check is up the hill here. Ow. Who? Where? You. You. Ugh. There are a lot more enemies here than Korthos. I never quite realized. Alright, next place for a rare encounter would be right here. I do not see him here today.
A small hut stands here, surrounded by well-tended beehives. The place looks like it's still inhabited, even though the Caves of Chaos are just over the hill.
Alright, so as the GM said, just up the hill from that house is the Caves of Chaos. This is where all 8 of those quests are. All of them. So from here, I'm going to go down to the first quest you can
Small,
get to.
squalid cave entrances dot the ravine walls. These must be the Caves of Chaos, where the cultists and their monster allies have made their base.
Alright, I think I'm going to do what I did with the other character, and just go until I hit level 2. Alright, so here is the Treasury. This is the one for one of the characters. Just going in and looting the Treasury. The Treasury. Treasure. You had me at treasure. Hi.
The door behind you seals shut as you enter. There's now only one way to go. Forward. That's fine with you, as this cave is said to contain much treasure.
Yeah, treasure.
A burly minotaur stands behind a magical barrier, guarding a pile of treasure. Always more. Always more. The Minotaur snorts. Greed draws you adventurers like moths to the flame. Have fun starving in my cave with the treasure just out of reach.
Okay. Alright. I gotta be... Oh. Oop. Okay, gotta be careful around scorpions, because they can poison you. And poison in this game isn't necessarily damage over time. Oh, a trap here. If I had some trapping skills, I could deal with this. Instead, I'm going to have to, maybe I should cast Night Shield. That might help.
This crest matches one of the sockets on the Minotaur's barrier. There must be more somewhere in the cave.
Alright, that's the quest. Picking up crests. If you've played A Legend of Zelda, this is closer to that. Ow. Those things. How do they have 0 hit points and are still alive? I don't think there's a crest this way, but I'm gonna go in anyway.
The webs that cover the walls of this part of the cave quiver for an instant. Then, a massive spider lunges out of the shadows.
Ooh. Ah, poisoned. Okay, so poison in this game reduces one of your stats. In this case, strength. If you fail to save, the damage I think becomes more like a longer lasting version of the damage, or it keeps going. I don't remember. I might be thinking of diseases. We'll see here in about 30 seconds. And now, for something that's really annoying, if you don't have any of those collectible bags. I picked up Deadly Fever Branch, which went into this bag here, this red one. There is someone in the harbor, I don't know how to pronounce their name, that is looking for these. We could trade it to them for cool stuffs. Okay. It's saved, and it looks like our stat was restored back to its base of 10. Ooh, dragon shard fragments. Those go in the ingredients bag. Oops. Alright. I've met up to the shrine. If I look at the map, I've gone in a little bit of a loop. A little bit of a shortcut there. I might... I defeat these guys first, and then... Oh! Blah. Did I get all the rats? I did, okay. Did I get all the bats? I did, okay. I think this loops around and doubles back here, so I might do one more loop around and then come back to this shrine. Hopefully. Ow. Oh, right. Oh goodness. Crest of snake. Can I do one more loop? I think I can. This is a puzzle. That's a lady puzzle.
This should be enough crests to fill all of the sockets on the Minotaur's barrier.
Yeah, I think now would be a good time to use this shrine. Let's see how many hit points I get back for how much healing? 2. Oh, back to full. Nice. This feels like an ambush. Yep. Oh, hi. I saw that. Oh, come on. Maybe I have to step back a bit. 69 silver pieces. Nice. Alright, and these slots go in the sockets here. Before I do the last one, now would be a good time to buff. Not that it'll help.
With all 3 crests neatly fitted into their sockets, the magical barrier fades. The infuriated Minotaur
Is that all
gives
the
a roar
summons?
of
Okay.
rage and attacks.
Alright, you don't want to be in his line when he does his charge like that. He will knock you down.
The Minotaur's bellow is cut short as it collapses. Now the treasure the creature had been guarding is yours for the taking.
Treasure. Sadly, all the coins here on this pile are purely decorative. I have to take from the chest. And for our troubles, we get the high steps, which allows us to jump and tumble and get another blue slot. And we get different bracers. Bracers? Which give us illusion resistance and spell sight. I might switch those out. I'm not sure. For now, I'll go ahead and equip those boots. Why did I get arrows? I'm not using them. Alright, the next quest from here that we usually end up doing is down this walkway. Now, doing this without potions or hireling might be very brave or very stupid. We'll see. Looking at the Bugbear Caves, this might be very stupid. Alright. Be very careful if you're doing what I'm doing and going in without potions or hireling. Because bugbears have this tendency to crit you very hard.
As you walk deeper into the cave, you hear deep, guttural voices in the distance. The stout iron lock on this door looks as though it would be impossible to pick.
Alright, so when the Dungeon Master says something along those lines, if you do try to pick this, you'll get a message saying, no you can't. Similarly, if you have the knock spell and try to knock the door open with that spell, you'll get a very similar message. So we have to go find the key.
This door seems to be sealed by powerful magic.
And now we have to find 2 levers. Levers? Levers. Switches. I saw that. Alright, so
You notice a small iron key in the corner of the room.
because this game actually calculates projectiles, under good lag-free conditions with a good ping, you can actually dodge out of the way of some of the slower projectiles. If it doesn't hit you, it doesn't have to roll the attack roll to see if it hits you, because it physically missed. And here's the key. This is why when I play these character builds, a lot of them are going to go for the more mobile options rather than the more sit in one place options, even though tanks everywhere love that. You know, people trying to put up area of effect spells really love it when you run around, but you know, not getting hit means not taking damage and getting hit.
The iron lock creaks as it opens. You hear hurried footsteps approaching.
I wonder if Eldritch Blast counts as a level 1 spell.
The image of a small silver key is embossed on this surprisingly well-crafted lock.
Yep.
The smell of meat cooking wafts tantalizingly down the corridor.
Hi. Ow. Okay, I didn't move out of the way of that one.
You notice the glint of silver in the far corner of this chamber.
I guess that also means if you're playing a ranged character and you're wondering why your attacks aren't hitting, if you're shooting at like a moving target, it would make sense that the arrow hit the ground behind where the target was, and that's why you missed. Even though, I don't know. Might have to do more research and see if that's how that works. Anyway, here's one of the
As the first lever
levers.
is pulled, the crystal above it flares into life. As the silver lock clicks open, you hear the muffled voices of bugbears ahead.
Oh, there is a spellcaster. Ah, thank goodness I put up a night shield. Because that was magic missiles that just hit me, and night shield blocks those. What was I doing? Left or right? Right or left? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm gonna put up another night shield. Hi. Shit. Whew. Those guys might be more dangerous than some of the other enemies in here. I think as a spellcaster, your main problems are going to be tanky guys with big muscles and other spellcasters. Like the squishy guys in between you can tear through rather easily. A shield! Also of death block. I'm not proficient in shield, but that would be funny. Here's another shrine if I need it.
As the second lever is pulled, you can hear the rumble of the sealed door sliding open. As the door opens, you see several humans in chains crouching against the walls.
We don't know the names of any of these people. Is that really only 4? Yeah, 4. Okay. Ooh. Oh. I wonder, can I find this? No, it says there's a secret door.
Huddled humans dressed in rags flinch away from the door as you open it.
Enslaved merchant. I'm not sure what the significance of that was, why he was different from the others. There wasn't a bonus objective for him, I don't think. Alright, back to the red-blue doors. I feel like there's something in here.
As you open the door, a massive bugbear growls and attacks. As the chieftain dies, you notice a small ornate key on the table in the far corner of the room.
Okay, I wasn't even in the room, but okay. Ah! Suddenly itchy. Okay. Treasure!
The door to the treasury opens with a satisfying click.
Now, if I had the
The
ability
large
to...
rusty lock on this chest looks like it could be picked.
Yeah, if only I had the ability to do so. But I don't. I didn't even take the knock spell. I probably could have. Wait, why am I breaking these barrels? The quest is already over. Nimble wrists. This one is arguably worse than Traveler's Bracers because it doesn't have a slot and only has one ability. Bummer. Ooh, and a silver shield. Okay. Okay, so this is special. This is special. Certain weapons, certain armors will have a material property to them that changes what they do and also what works against them and what kind of like resistances they have to taking damage. Silver here on an armor looks like it's good at giving you resistance bonuses to undead. But if it were on a weapon, it would be able to hit certain types of undead and werewolves. So I'm probably going to end up just selling this, but being able, yeah, see, damage type, bludgeon, silver, magic, being able to, I might actually put this on the auction house. We'll see. And another ethereal ingot. Alright, next quest we end up doing is up the hill here. I think this would be probably one of the more difficult ones to do. So going into the Orc Caves.
Fearing for their lives, the people of the keep have asked for your help dealing with 2 orc tribes that dwell inside this cave. Judging from the decor, each direction leads to a different tribe's home.
Alright, you get your choice of ice or fire. Because I'm doing fire damage on my spells, I'm going to go ice path. Very sneaky. Do you see it? Defeated.
This room is where the Frost Rager clan creates its magical concoctions. Best to destroy these now, before they can create more of the deadly and vile substances.
Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, so now, for an optional objective, we have a skill check. This is an actual roll, unlike the guard on the harbor. So you click it, and try. And if you fail, you just try again, and again, and again, until you either eventually get it, or realize that your skills need to be a bit higher. This difficulty check increases exponentially between hard and elite. So you might want to keep up on your skills, whatever that means. Think this way is a path I can take? Yes, it is. I don't remember if this is a path I want to take. Alright, a restaurant. Nice. Sweet cap, yep.
This orc seems fiercer than the rest of the Frost Rager clan. Letting him live will just leave a possible new chief who must be dealt with in the future.
He actually missed. He threw that right over my head. Did you see that? Alright, back here. Up this way. I'm going for the mephits first. Is there a nuisance? Maybe I should put on a shield. It's not going to help much against physical attacks, but it might help against the mephits. Actually. Yeah. You know what? On second thought, maybe I should be casting command more. I believe Yashalka here is another skill check. Never mind, you just talk to her and she gives you a charm. This charm will be important for later in the quest chain, so don't lose it. And if you do come in here, remember to talk to her to get it. Oh right, red names are immune to crowd control. So just hit him. Hey, I found that one. I wonder if this lever would open that same thing.
The lever clicks into place, and the sound of grinding gears can be heard somewhere in the cave.
Alright, now... I want to go ahead and rest before I go into the next room. Now, if I really wanted to get as much experience as I can, I would go to the other side, do the fire side, and get all those things done. Or I could just come straight here and search this wall and get the other chieftain. Nice. Let's go ahead and get that other lever behind the
Grinding
chair.
gears can be heard once again as a gate opens somewhere in the cave.
That opened this. Nice, right? Scavenged scale. Oh, if only I could wear medium armor. But I cannot. I am not proficient in medium armor. And even if I were, I think there's better. Alright, now where do I go after this? I don't remember. I think we usually did these on Elite, so we get a lot more experience out of that. So I'm gonna go down the hill here, see what trouble I can get into. Oh yes, there's this quest right here. The Kobold Caves. Alright. Put on Night Shield before I move any further. There is a trap.
Most of the kobolds scramble to defend their cave at the side of you, while one of their number scampers away. You slide through the muck and refuse into a pool of stagnant slop. It's just not your day.
How do I get out of here? Can I search? Yes. Alright. I think I just made this quest harder on myself.
You spy a humongous rat on top of a pile of garbage. It shrieks at you, and its many vassals emerge from the shadows. Now that king rat is dead, long live the new king. You. The first order of business might as well be to survey your domain.
What did I just pick up a key to? I don't remember that being here. Alright. Alright, that runner saw us, so now the rest of the kobolds in the dungeon are going to be on alert. Yep. Speaking of which. Alright. Interesting that the objective doesn't say failed or not. So that runner, I think, would have come over here and rung this bell. I think I need to go this way. Yeah.
An elderly kobold rouses her tribe for battle to defend their home. The kobolds that rally appear stronger and more panicked than the ones you
Cast
fought
it. Oh,
before.
oh. Ah, okay. So, if okay, I get the treasure this time. I think I might have to try this quest again. See if I can get that runner, and then not getting shot down the shaft. because there's something you can do in this room if you don't let the runner escape. Some skill checks you can make in here. But because he saw me and because he rang the bell, those kobolds were on alert, and I couldn't do anything with them. There's something else I could have done. Oh, that's what the key was for. Pick up this ham. Alright, I can't use a docent sauce because it's gonna get sold. There's the lookout. Alright. Yeah. Let's go in. Let's go in. Alright, there's a different iron key. And a level up. Rough plate. I can't wear rough plate. And another ethereal ingot. Am I only getting ethereal ingots from that? Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna try that again. Or not. Oh. Oh. Alright, what am I getting? Bailiff gives us... junk. Alright, Steward gives us... more junk. Alright. Chamberlain gives us... more junk. Cool. The Sergeant gives us... okay, well I'll take the ring because it gives us +8 wizardry. Yeah, slightly more spell points. I'm gonna go repair my stuff, sell stuff, and try and do the kobolds again. While I'm here in town, I might as well... oop, that's not my enhancements, that's the Epic Destiny. Let's Control E to get to that. Don't need it yet. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself more spellcraft. Nice, we meet again. Yes, a feather token. I can get a head start on that. Oh yes, this guy's here.
A small hermit's hut stands here, surrounded by well-tended beehives. The place looks like it's still inhabited, even though the caves of chaos are just over the hill.
Alright, now this guy operates a bit differently from most random encounters. You're going to want to defend him. lenses of peering. If I were a character that were into searching for things, this would be a great fit. And also another token. I think I'll go ahead and put them on so I can just have a better chance of seeing folks. And the regular goggles. Dang. I thought they'd be glasses. Alright, I'm trying this again. I could, if I wanted to, try this on hard for more loot and more experience. I'm just coming in here for one thing, so I'm going to go back in on normal.
Most of the kobolds scramble to defend their cave at the side of you, while one of their number scampers away.
Shit, that wasn't the one I needed to hit. Fuck. Okay. Oh. Uh-oh.
You slide through the muck and refuse into
Alright.
a pool of stagnant slop. It's just not your day.
No, it's not.
Most of the kobolds scramble to defend their cave at the side of you, while one of their number scampers away.
Okay.
You've stopped the runner, and not a moment too soon. Who knows what else the kobold tribe might bring to bear against you?
Now I have to head to that one chamber.
An elderly kobold demands your attention, calling for the cessation of hostilities.
Alright, we talked to this elder.
You've made a deal with the tribe. Strike down their leader to gain their support.
Okay, so if you defeat the lookout, you can talk to the elder here for skill check, social skill check. Succeed, and you get a different path you can take. Now, when you do this, do not loot that chest in the hidey hole. I think you can figure out why.
Now that the chief is dead, you should let the tribe know they are free of his ire.
Ooh, Cloak of Attraction. Haggle and Bluff. Nice, nice, nice. I might put that on. I did put that on. What's it look like without the Commemorative Cloak? I can't put the Commemorative Cloak back on. Alright, where's the old crone? There she is.
The kobolds react to the news of their chief's death with what seems like relief. The elderly kobold offers you a reward for freeing her tribe from the tyrannical war chief. A secret door slides open in the common chamber.
Alright, then once you've done that, talk to her again.
According to the kobold crone, their chief has been behaving strangely ever since he brought the charm of evil chaos to the cave. She's happy to be rid of both the chief and the vile talisman.
Now, this is going to be very important for a bonus objective. Yes, bonus objective. In the last quest of this chain. And now we can freely loot the chest since we won the diplomacy check here. Even though I'm not proficient in diplomacy, I didn't train it. I just got lucky. Orb. Not a good orb, but orb. I will equip it. Alright, now, to deal with those ingots I've been picking up, just come over here and talk to Morton Edgewright. You can trade ingots for a level 2 weapon or a level 20 weapon. Although that's epic level. Level 2 is what we're at here at this level. If you are an artificer, you can exchange silver, ethereal, and arcane ingots for a rune arm. Gives you a nice fiery spell and fire on your attacks. Otherwise, you get different choices of clubs if you've got arcane ingots. Your silver and ethereal ingots will get you different weapons. Silver being good against lycanthropes and undead, and ethereal being good against ghosts. You got literally a weapon of each type. I don't have any arcane ingots, or I would definitely pick up a scepter from this guy. All I have is ethereal, and our attacks can just hit ghosts anyway, because they're magic. I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I might check the mail before I go, but I think that's all I'm going to do for today. What's in the mailbox? Alright, that's about going to do it for today. Thank you all for watching, and have fun out there, whatever you're doing. Uh-oh. Hmm. Um... Whew, that was scary. Had a bit of lag.